Low bands, ay, ay, low ball shit. Two C's on the name. Hey, cute and clever, and the whole gang. Ay, ay, go hoop swing when she load that
Good
track.
day, good day, good day, everyone. Thank you so much for joining the Little Boss Chick with two C's for A Love is Blind Season 10 Ohio recap of episode 7. Um, I am just going to kind of fly through some of the parts that I found a little bit funny. It tickled my little funny bone, or it made me think, well, good luck to these folks and their decisions. But anyway, one of the things that I have to start off with, Britt, bless you. Um, I'm sure that Devonte is a nice gentleman. um, and anyway, to start this off with season 7, with Britt coming back into the room after talking to the producers because Devonte went out there and was like, okay, is she out there? Have her come in. They chat for a little bit. She is crossed arms, um, tears. He says what he says, which I'm like, I wouldn't necessarily accept it, but whatever. He goes to give her a hug, not a kiss, but a hug, like a good grandpa would, as she's crying into his shirt. And I don't know about you, if you were born and watching movies like Fight Club, but this was the first thing that that I thought of once Devontae turned around and you could see her little tear marks in his shirt. It totally reminded me of Bob and Bob's bosoms that was there for Edward Norton's character to cry into. Anywho, if the two of them make it, bless them. Um, but it seems like they had a pretty good episode um, in 7. Let's see here. The next set of folks. Alex and Ashley. Now, I know that her dad says that she has a bad picker, and she has also joked about having a bag picker, but you know what? I think she's been kind of clocking Alex on things here and there. But everybody is leaving Cabo. They're going back to their, oh, excuse me, they are actually going to their apartments out in Ohio. And right when Ashley and Alex walk in, um, she says it's sage. I'm like, well, it looks like a piece of wood, but regardless, this chick said, look, let me go ahead, burn some sage as she's waving it around Alex. And he's like, what are you doing? She was like, I'm saging the bad spirits. That's what I'm doing. Um, those two have quite the adventure. And you know what? I'm going to say it right now. They are not going to get married. I have a hard time believing that they say yes to one another. Um, and even like in this episode, it feels as though more information has been um, coming up as far as Amber. It's either in episode 7 or episode 8. Sorry if I am about ready to give a spoiler, but you can also fast forward this. Um, but it does sound like she has done some great things with her career. I don't think she's necessarily gung ho about dropping her um, very good, very predictable, very stable life to be a nomad like Alex and his mother, which we'll talk about a little bit later. Anyway, Jess and Chris. So this was an interesting conversation as they are talking about, oh yeah, everything felt so natural. I feel, good around you, so on and so forth. And then Jess teases Chris about being a serial killer like Dexter. And he was like, that was a fucking good show. Yes, it was. It was a good show. but it was just the way he said it. I'm like, interesting. Um, but the other thing I thought, interesting, is this foreshadowing that he's about ready to kill a relationship and bury it in the backyard and move on to the next person? Could be. Stand by. Alrighty. So, have Alex and Ashley again. Um, this time, as they're very briefly talking to Alex's mom, it kind of sounded like she had no idea what Alex was doing, let alone he now has a fiance. But anyway, the mom, too, living a nomadic life. Um, but on the phone call, she's like, yeah, I'm moving down to Arizona. And he's like, oh, interesting. Ashley and I have been thinking about moving to Arizona or Florida. Um, and can I just say, he talks about Florida a lot. And then it made me think, Florida is probably the right place for him to be if he likes women with a darker complexion um, and dark hair. I think you're picking up what I'm putting down. But anyway, he definitely relays to his mom that they're thinking about moving to Arizona. And again, it was a brief conversation, and it was primarily because the mom was apparently dropping off one of her big rig trucks, was also picking up her motorcycle, and apparently she got a new job doing something. I don't know. I'm assuming still, doing like truck driving. But like I said, the mom is equally a nomad. Um, in my notes, I have a little flag. Ashley likes stability, and she says it a couple of times. Mike and Emma, I can't fucking stand Mike. I am so sorry. Um, Definitely would not be a person that I would choose for myself. I like for my better half, my other half, excuse me, um, to be able to be their natural selves. And if they want my opinion, they can always ask for my opinion. But Jesus, Louises, Mike is always giving Emma his advice like she's a little girl. She's not a little girl. She might be a little bit younger than him, but I do appreciate the fact that she does politely clock him on some of the things that he says to her. Anyway, can't stand them. Really didn't want to spend that much time watching them. Um, and in my notes, I say, way to call him out, Emma. Oh, yeah, because he's given her a hard time about her abilities to manage her clothes. And she was like, yeah, well, you don't close doors. So um, I agree with Emma. They both have their quirks. Amber and Jordan. Amber got to see her little daughter, says, I really enjoyed the reunitization. I have no idea I what she was trying to say was reunion, but then she completely totally made up some other word, and I am hoping that when they do have their reunion that they call it the reunitization, much like Amber did. Um and I couldn't help but to notice as Jordan is talking to her, his bottom lip is doing something kind of funky. And I'm like, does he have a big wad of chew in his mouth? Or is it one of the zinnies that he has in his mouth? Anyway, those two seem content with each other. Um, Connor and Bree. Well, you know how I said I can't stand Mike? I can't stand Bree either. She too is always trying to tell someone or give someone her 5, 10, 15, 25 cents the woman is constantly just always critiquing someone. And when I say someone, I mean Connor. Um, so as they are laying in bed and they are reflecting about their relationship, and I think this was shortly after um, Bray found like a paper or a poem that he wrote, and she was like, "Oh, so you're a poet? Are so your vows are going to be very nice then?" And Connor's like, "I've already written my vows." She's like, "Are you going to read it to me?" Not with a lot of enthusiasm, but I probably would have gave Connor some praise as far as, "Oh my gosh, thank you for being this excited to go forward and marry me." Would have been my response. But so anyway, she asks him, why does Connor love her? He gives a very legitimate answer. It seemed very thoughtful, it was reflective. When asked of her, hers, in my opinion, felt very general about all of these different things that they will be doing together. But really and truly, that could apply to anybody in the pod. Chris, because we all know she still has feelings for Chris. Um, but yeah, um, bless Connor's heart. Good luck to them. Back to Devontae and Bree. Oh, I just said WTF. Next. So Brittany has to read. Oh, yes. In my notes, it reminded me. So, in their casting, let's find little Devontae. What did little Devontae have to say in his bio? Nope, Jordan. Where you at, Devontae? Here we go. Excuse me, Devo. So anyway, he had his rebound, likes the sports talk, um, says now he says that he does want his woman to be her own person. "I don't want you to give up your dreams and your passions. I want to be able to support you." Uh-huh. That's what Devo wrote. Haven't necessarily seen great support that I would imagine. But I mean, he was there in this portion of the episode, letting her cry on his t-shirt and leaving a mark. Um, this marriage-minded guy is done dating just to date. He's searching for a goal-driven woman who's prepared to fully commit and build a loving family. I think Brittany checked those boxes, but he won't seek a second date with someone whose communication skills aren't up to his standards. I am not a mind reader. So when I have to guess what's going on or what you're thinking, that's an ick to me. Now, I put this in my notes because part of their discussion is in regards to Brittany having to read his mind because he does not fully communicate. See, this is the reason why, one of the reasons why he was on my left swipe list, and he is still on my left swipe list. Bake a little bit more, Devo, Devontae. Um, Take notes from the people that you have dated. I can only hope that you find someone that compliments you very well. And I could have swore he also said something somewhere about, oh, I think it was when they were recording him, that women using little girl voices give him the ick. And I just want to say, back when they were in the pods and Brittany was talking about, "Oh my gosh, it's giving me the tingly winglies or tingly igglies, whatever word she was saying. He was like, oh my gosh, I'm feeling the tickly wigglies too. Boy, get out of here. Get out of here. That was back when you didn't know that Britney was a woman of color. Anyway, so yeah, WTF next with those two. Um, Back to Amber and Jordan. Amber, girl, your outfits reminds me of 1992, 1996. What bell bottom jeans do you have on? You know what? It doesn't matter because you know what? It feels like it best represents Amber and her personality. Um, and what else did I write on here? Wow, these two talk about having um, little money quite often. Now, I would love to believe what Amber does in her profession, it feels as though she probably makes a pretty good income, if not a really good income for both her and her daughter. I have to say, her house, phenomenal. She has done an amazing job. Kudos to her um, for, getting herself and her daughter in a position in which they could purchase this very beautiful house. Um, so just wanted to make sure I gave her a shout out for that. Um, Christine and Vic. Christine, girl, you better watch your mom. You better watch your mom. Your mom is trying to take your man. Talking about, whoo, he's hot. Can I say that? Um, and let me say, Victor St. John, when you first got into that grad program, first of all, kudos to you for getting into your PhD program. But yeah, you had quite the metamorphosis. Um, but I will say, from what I have seen online, as well as um, heard, on the YouTube, so on the TikToks, it sounds like there are so many people that you work with, that you have taught, who have so many amazing things to say about you. Oh my gosh. And the Christine, when I was on her Instagram, I think I am totally digging the fact that Christine has been open to living her life with um, a nice diverse collaboration of people. I absolutely love it. I love these two together. I enjoy their conversations. Um, I cannot say that I'm a super religious person, but their energy and their intent when they are saying their prayers is, it feels so genuine and realistic, and I find it to be a really beautiful thing that they both are very passionate about and actually practice. So, kudos to them, but still, watch your mom. Um, Bree and Connor. In my notes, all I have is chill the F out, Bree. Um, he has a nice home. I also like that he got creative with his job, with his garage to create a man cave. Um, and you know what? You could just give him praise for something that it looks like he is very proud of. Um, it may not be as super glam as your place, but it still feels like a place where people can feel comfortable to come over and hang out and have a good time. Alex and Ashley. Okay. The dad understood the assignment. He flipped just grilled Alex. Um, and the funny thing is, and Alex, it seemed like in Alex's mind, and he's thinking, "I'm killing this, dude." No, you're not. It was a cat and mouse game, and the dad was just back and forth with you, my guy. Now, um, so I have heard some people say, when Alex is like, uh, yeah, I didn't vote. The nomad didn't vote. I'm not surprised. But I would have voted for Trump. And I kind of thought, figures. And other folks were like, oh my gosh, Ashley's family is, Trump supporters also. But if you go to 44 minutes and 30 seconds, um, no, 46 minutes and 0 seconds, the brother leans in, and says something completely opposite of Alex, basically along the lines of, he's not my president. So either the brother is not a Trump supporter, but I'm kind of thinking that it might be the whole family that may not be um, Trump supporters. But I'm sure more information will probably come out between now and then. But I definitely appreciate the brother leaning in and letting it be known that he did not vote for the Trump. Um. So yeah, cat and mouse game. What I was getting ready to say before, at 44 minutes and 30 seconds, Ashley, you can see her little head to the side because she totally clocked the fact that the math was not mathing for the grandparents. So when her dad had asked, "Yeah, how old was your grandfather when he passed away?" And Alex says like 67. I think it was 67. Oh, well, how long were those two married? He was like, "Oh, like 50, 53 years." And that's when Ashley kind of cocks her head to the side, like, that math is not mathing. But then again, they could have gotten married at 17. Um, like I said, um, Dad says that that she has a bad picker, but I think she's clocking a lot of Alex's weirdness, um, as the episodes are progressing along. And I do find it funny watching him squirm, even though he thinks that he is killing it, but you're not. Um, on to the next set of notes. Love the fact that this whole entire family is laughing at this fool. Absolutely love it. Okay. I did like the dad. His piece of advice is, when making a decision, always put the other person first when making a decision. Um, no, look at that. In my notes, I just said, look, I'm tired of Alex. Um, Correct, dad. Honesty. Ha. Yes, I agreed with the dad as they were debriefing with the dad by himself. And I say, yes, dad, you are absolutely correct. Honesty is not Alex's strength. Mike and Emma again. I don't like Mike. Really don't. Really don't. I am so tired of him talking about kids, talking about kids. Lord knows he had the opportunity to meet other folks in the pods that was on the same page as far as if they wanted to have kids or not. So, um, I don't think it's fair for him to be like, kids, Emma, kids. Emma, kids, kids, kids. Oh, once we got back, I got all of these messages from my brother, from my friends, from so and so. Everybody's having kids. You get a kid, you get a kid. We all get kids. Except for, well, I'm still waiting for you to decide, Emma. I don't think it's fair. Um, and now I'm starting to wonder, what is it that Emma wants other than, I think the only thing that I've heard her express is a person choosing and wanting her. Um, and in my notes, I don't care about your friends, Mike, and those kids. Stop it. You knew what was up. You wasted your own time. That's the real truth. And you know what, Emma? If it doesn't work out on Love is Blind, maybe we might see you on Perfect Match. Hey. Or maybe you might be able to cross over into some other um, dating universe. But um, is Emma perfect? No, she isn't. None of us are. Does she have quirks? Yes, she does. Can she be a little bit young and maybe a little bit immature at times? Yes, indeed, because she's like, what, 27? Um, but I do appreciate, again, her sticking up for herself, her clocking Mike on some stupid stuff, as well as some of the other guys. Um, and and she also seems to also be a pretty good friend. Anyway, that was my recap. Um, if I were to make any predictions, Alex, Ashley, they will go to the altar, but they're not going to get married. Because I think, look, the nomad who's trying to pick up jobs here and there, whatever it may be, I could I could not. I could not. I apparently I'm not a nomad. I too like stability, but I think Alex will go all the way to the altar so that way he can get those extra monies, so that way he can travel, and do whatever. Chris and Jessica, I don't know. Connor and Bree. I think Connor will see this all the way through. I hope that Bree has enough integrity to be honest with Connor. Devontae, Brittany, I hope not. I really don't see them going to the altar. I would love to believe that Brittany is wise enough to know what type of husband she would like and what he would bring to the table. Vic and Christine, yeah, of course they're going to get married. And I don't know, they might show up to the reunion with a little baby in hand. They might be pregnant right now. Who knows? But um, it seems as though that everything is clocking wonderfully. Again, they have great conversations, in depth conversations. Um, they their energy works together. Emma and Mike, no, don't do it, Emma. Just say no. Mike should say no. Mike should say no. He should leave, go back to New Jersey, and pop out some kids. Jordan and Amber, you know what? I'm going to say yes because you know what? She does like a teddy bear, and it seems like he treats her quite well. So if you haven't already, please hit subscribe. Please hit like. Please leave me comments down below. I would love to get your thoughts, your opinions, your predictions. And I will look forward to seeing you all for episode number 8.
Ay, ay, little boss shit. 2 C's on the name. Hey, cute and clever, and the whole gang. Ay, ay, go hoop swing when she load that track.